No, I'm thinking about an hour tonight. I'm got stuff to do.
I'm gonna go grab a soda. You can go ahead and go live.
We're live right now, so we are live, and we don't have any viewers quite yet. So we'll just chill until we get some people pop in. But
Well, let's just go ahead and start it off right. Hey, y'all, Hancock Brewer here. What do you say?
there you go.
Nice guns and gear. Metal Trooper 62 is getting him a Mountain Dew, and now nobody's watching. So
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I do have his cell phone. I forgot. Yeah, I'm so. I feel like I'm like so out of it lately. You know. No, I'm thinking about an hour. Oh, I got the other bot. I'm gonna text Andrew real quick, see if we can get him in here. So, what's been going on, Metal Trooper? I haven't talked to you for a while.
Oh, not much. Just been actually kind of had a slow week at the shop. I didn't actually I didn't work today, so I'm gonna have like a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. So I don't get those too often. So
4-day weekend, yeah. I mean, you can't complain
yeah,
about that, right?
I kind of make my own hours there, so kind of varies. If we get animals, we usually if we get new animals in, it's on Friday. So I'll do Thursdays. I'll do a lot of cage cleaning and getting stuff ready for the new animals, and then Friday I'll go in and put animals up, go through everything. But yeah, I've been kind of on a AK mag quest here lately. So been getting some pretty good deals on some of the AK forums.
What type of mags are you looking for? Anything in particular?
Uh, just just military. You know, not I don't want the commercial stuff, but just like the mainly the Bulgarian and the Russian Bakelite mags, and then the Circle 10, Circle 21, Circle 25. Um, I bought two Tula Bakelite mags off this guy on one of the on the AK forums, and I had mailed it off like 7 days ago, and he was in Kansas City, so uh, the tracking said that he was supposed to get it by Saturday. Well, the same day I had shipped off for another mag, and the guy lived in New Mexico. Well, I got that mag 2 days ago, so I checked tracking number on it, and the guy in Kansas City still hasn't got his, and I'm just like right across the state from him. So I messaged him and told him what was up, and then I gave him the tracking number for my payment and stuff. Because he used postal money orders. But yeah, hopefully he gets that tomorrow because I'm kind of looking forward to those two mags. My
yeah, don't
favorite
you
are the
just
Bakelite.
post?
Bakelite mags are my favorite.
Yeah, they're cool. I had a 74 at one point, and I had some Bakelites for it, and they're just cool.
Yeah, I got a bunch of East German Bakelite mags when I bought my Romanian SAR2, which is basically an AK-74. Back in the early 2000s, I was getting those mags for $5 a piece. Now those mags, those cheapest I've seen those mags is $35, but there's several people on the forum selling them for $50 a piece for the brand new ones. So I
Yeah,
wish I would have bought more back then. But
hey, don't we say that about a lot of things? I wish I would
yeah,
have stocked up on more 22 ammo when it was 3 cents a round. I wish I would have,
yeah,
So that's how it goes, man. You just never hindsight's 2020, isn't that what they say?
yeah. So now I'm trying to get all kinds of extra stuff just in case.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Sorry, I'm like so distracted lately by traditional knives. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, that one you did a video of with the OD green handle, that one's really nice.
I love that knife, man. That's like been on my radar for a long time.
Yeah, I like the blade, the style of blade, and then the OD uh, scales or whatever you call that.
Yeah, their OD Green linen micarta.
Yeah, very, very nice looking knife.
That's what I've been loving about the traditionals is there's so many options for your handle materials. It's not, just different color G10 and carbon fiber, like the other knives. there's so many unique handle materials that are just really cool, and it just makes it a little more. I don't know. I'm just more interested in them right now.
Talking
And then
about
with
the traditional, it's just kind of it bites you.
yeah,
Oh man, it's been me so bad. It's all I care about anymore. Like,
But I bought all these yesterday and had no reason to buy them.
oh, the little gift set. Those are cool though. Those little gift sets are cool.
They say collector. Who knows? Probably not.
And are those the trade ones? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Schrade. 2 boxes are old timers. The other box is Uncle Henry's. But they were $20 a set, and I got a discount on them. So I got all 3 sets for right at $50.
Oh, really? That's a really good deal.
So 9 new knives for $50. Why not?
yeah.
Yeah.
The cool thing with like the bone or the antler handle ones, no two are alike.
Yeah, like that Blade Forms knife I put a video up on, that Stag Jack they call it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the stag on every single knife was different.
yeah,
Some knives were like really thick, and some were thinner, and some had more white, and some were darker, and that's what's kind of cool about it is you get something really unique. It's not like every other guy's knife out there.
yeah.
So there's definitely a lot of appeal, and what's weird is I never, I started with like the more modern knives. I never really had any of those kind of knives. I had some like Swiss Army knives. I've been big into those lately. I've been kind of collecting the ALOX models, with the aluminum handles.
Yeah.
I'd love to have one of those. That's one thing I don't have yet. I've still got some of the
They're so
regular red.
inexpensive. You can get like I mean this is the one I have in my pocket right now. This is just a little silver ALOX, and it's like $25.
Yeah, I want one of those. I just can't find them around here. I guess I'm gonna have to order it on the net.
Oh yeah, just get them. Well, no, they sell them at Target. Do you have a Target by you?
Yeah, but I haven't been there in like 5 years.
Well, go check it out. That's where I bought this. I bought the silver one. This is the Cadet, and I bought the black one. And then I have. I mean, I have like I'm gonna do a video. I have quite a few now. I only like the ALOX. I like this aluminum, ribbed scale they have, and they have tons of different colors out there. Some that are really limited runs. They're really quite collectible, and they're not expensive. I mean, you can buy them for $30. I think the most expensive one I bought was 60 something bucks, and it was a rare copper colored one that's really cool.
Well, I like those because if you're at McDonald's cutting your kid's straw or something, people don't freak out over those as much as they do.
Exactly.
The system opener.
No, and that's kind of one reason why I started carrying traditionals, because traditionals are the same way. People don't freak out when you whip out a slip joint. You have to open it with 2 hands, and you're, kind of like a Swiss Army knife, and it's got a smaller blade. Typically, it's usually, under 3 inches on most of them.
Just like this little Barlow right here.
Ooh, I love Barlows.
Ooh,
that's a nice Barlow. I like that.
I can't. Oh my God, Dylan Craig, he sent this to me.
I got my hands on one the other day. Hold on, I'll go grab it. It's like a grill slip joint for me. I'll be right back.
All right. You ever heard of the Barlows there, Mr. Metal Trooper?
I've just heard of them like on some of the videos and stuff. I'm not real familiar with them.
All the ones that I've seen are this type of a pointless teardrop kind of shape. They kind of remind me of something like my papa would carry, so I just think they're neat.
Oh, they're old school, man. This one here is it's called not glare. Tell you what, it's called the Tom's Choice Barlow. It's got the red jigged bone, the really nice bolster, and that's what the TC stands for. They're also kind of known as called Charlos. But this is by GEC, Great Eastern Cutlery. So as far as like traditionals are concerned, GEC is pretty much top of the line. It's really, really good fit and finish. I mean, you're talking like buying a nice ZT or something like that. As far as if you're comparing it to production knives. So that's my first Barlow right there, and it's beautiful. I mean, this one will always. I was hunting down these. They don't make these anymore, and this is another thing that's cool about traditionals. Well, at least this brand GEC, they do limited runs on all of their knives. So this particular pattern may not be made again for another like 5-10 years, if ever again. So when you get them, they're really collectible. So that's another thing that's cool about them.
Right. Does it actually say Barlow on it?
No, it doesn't.
See, I've got 2 of these.
Most of the GECs don't say Barlow anywhere. It's just you can tell it's a Barlow by the bolster. How the bolster is much larger than
Right.
like on this. This is the Northwoods. It's just got the smaller bolster where this one's much. Oops, upside down. This one's much bigger bolster. That's kind of the design of the Barlows. Yeah.
See, yeah, both of these actually say Barlow on the bolsters, but this one right here that's got it in cursive.
Oh, that's nice.
It's a U.S.-made Barlow, and it is made by a Colonial Knife Company. And this one is also Colonial, but it says Barlow in standard letters, and this is a China Barlow. That's kind of funny that both of them are examples of white Barlows with no design, just one U.S. and one Chinese.
Yeah, I think Schrade makes a Barlow for like $10. It's super cheap. What kind of steel? Do you know what kind of steel those are?
Let's look at the U.S. one real quick.
Because most of these are carbon steel. Like this is a 1095 carbon steel. Most of my traditionals are carbon steel. I need to get more.
It actually does not say.
Yeah, they don't say on the blade, kind of like the U.S. blade made knives do. They don't really say. I mean, both of my Fremont Jack, it just says USA. Doesn't say anywhere about the steel. You just kind of have to look it up on their website or whatever. Well, actually, I take that back. When you get the tube, you know how they come in those cool little tubes. Have you seen those little tubes they come in?
Yeah.
They say like the blade's still on there, and it's just really cool. The packaging is really cool too. It's really, old school. I really like it. It's fun.
Now, there's another difference between the Chinese. This is the Chinese, the more shinier one. The secondary blade on the China knife is a lot smaller as far as thickness.
That's kind of funny. The Chinese making Barlow. I mean, the Barlow is such a old school U.S. design, and the Chinese are making them. Kind of
I
funny.
think they make just about everything. They copy about everything.
Well, see, these knives are both the same company. They're both Imperials. I sent old Fat Man C. Spearman a really nice Barlow, one of the Roy Rogers editions.
Oh, nice. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick run through in the comments. We got quite a few viewers that have joined. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to TR Prepper. TR Prepper said he had a Barlow when he was a kid back in the 70s. That's how classic that design is.
Yeah.
We've got Diggin' Dixie, Lorker Smiths. I'm not familiar with that name. Budget Bug Out. What's going on, Budget Bug Out? Terry Miles. Congrats, Terry Miles, on getting lucky. I'm not sure what to think about that, but all right. And HNRE42 is in the house. Hey, did you get the knife I sent you? That's what I want to know. I think you did, but I want to double check. And from Urban to Country Homestead's also here, who also won the last knife in the last time we had a chat. So hopefully you guys got those packages. I think you both did, but I want to double check. And then I got Kelly Parks. How's it going, Kelly? So tonight we're just kind of having a really informal chat. Probably won't be very long tonight, but we're just, we wanted to make sure we had it since we missed last week, and we had some people traveling and doing some stuff, so sometimes life happens. Is there any particular topics you guys wanted to cover? I mean, I know we wanted to kind of talk about The Walking Dead a little bit. Do you watch The Walking Dead, Mel Trooper?
No.
Oh,
I'm
man.
probably the only one that don't.
You might be the only person in America that doesn't.
Well, I don't have a TV, so.
Oh. Well, there you go.
I don't have a TV, so.
Do you have a computer though, right?
Yeah, I got a laptop. That's what I'm on now.
You could watch it on the internet. That's how I used to do it.
Yeah, I might do that. Start watching the older ones because I watch a lot of Hulu and just whatever's free. Yeah.
Yeah, you can if you type in like Walking Dead season 5 episode 2, you can usually find a stream for free. You don't really, there's a lot of people that are putting them out there, so we'll talk a little bit about The Walking Dead latest this season and kind of latest episode and we've been kind of talking about knives. Go ahead, Hancock.
Halloween safety. Make sure you arm your children before you send them to strangers' homes.
Hey, that's actually a good topic. I like that topic. Let's talk about that. So I take my kids out. I've got 3 little ones. My oldest is 9. He turns 10 in a few days, actually. But I take them out every year trick-or-treating. And every year I go. And to kind of paint you guys a picture, I live in a really, really like low-crime, very church-oriented neighborhood. Like we just, it's just everyone knows everyone. It's not a small town, which is funny, but it has that small town feel to it, So we have a close-knit community, so we never have crime. We never have any break-ins or anything like that kind of stuff in our neighborhood. It's just unheard of. I mean, our cops in our town, they seriously spend all day at the gas station down the street just hanging out. You see every once in a while you see someone pulled over, but there's really just nothing going on. So, but still, even when I go out with the kids at night and I go trick-or-treating, I always carry. I always have my concealed carry with me. Yeah. And, not that I think I'm going to need it, but better to have it than, what's this name? Need it, not have it.
Yeah, better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Yep.
No,
so
on Halloween, I am full combat ready. I've got my big flashlight. I've got my service pistol concealed because, hey, when you're wearing a costume, why not? I dress up also, so why not dress up as something where you can carry? Like
that's
last
a good
year,
idea.
I carried AR-15 on my back. I was all
Exactly.
green. I was a soldier.
You're just like, oh, that's just an airsoft gun. That's not real. That's not a real gun. Until you
Yeah, I know. Jarhead 6 did a video I just watched earlier about Halloween safety, and he had mentioned sexual, registered sex offenders, and I guess he did a search and he found like 2 or 3 that lived close to his, where he lived. And I know when I used to live in this other town when I was still married to my second wife, we did a search on it, and there was like 6 registered sex offenders within a 4 or 5 block radius. And, it's not something that's known unless you, check the website and everything.
Yeah, that brings up a good point to know that fact. And I'm actually kind of afraid to do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid I'm going to go like crazy on people. If I know there's a sex offender like 4 houses down, I might go down and. But actually that's the thing. I know my house that's the thing. I know my neighbor 4 houses down. You know what I mean? I know everyone that lives around me. But I'm sure there is in my area somewhere. But when we take our kids out, we only go probably like a 2-block or 3-block radius, and they get more candy than they know what to do with. They don't even. We end up throwing it away typically because there's so much of it. So but that does bring up a good point. Knowing people around you, knowing that, like you said, the sex offender list. Because when I was a kid, this is back in the 80s and 90s. We used to trick or treat without parents, man.
Oh yeah.
We didn't have our parents with us. That was unheard of. That would be like super lame to have your parents with you.
Yep.
Yeah, I never had my parents with me. Never.
But would you let your kids go out now without you?
in all honesty, where we trick or treat, I wouldn't let them go out any night of the week without me. Not because I'm in a crime area, because I'm out in the sticks and there's coyotes out here. There's bobcats. There's, our trick or treating we do by car. We might go into town and hit up one of the fancy rich neighborhoods. But no, my son's not going anywhere at night without me.
Yeah.
Not at this age, anyway.
Not in this day and age. I mean, it's just not, too
I
many.
mean, you never know. I mean, somebody could be going through, and I mean, to snatch a child like that, it would be too easy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you hear about it all the time. And, a lot of people think, that it can't happen to them, but, it can. Which it's a sad, it's pretty bad that, stuff like that happens nowadays. There's a lot of sick individuals out there.
Yeah, and, there probably was when we were kids, too. We just didn't hear as much about it, and
Right.
we've lived a little bit more sheltered life. The media is so readily available now, and
Right.
they only report on bad things anyway, so.
Do you check your kids' candy before you let them get into it?
Yeah, we do. Well, we do. That's kind of a fun thing to talk about. Before we get into that, though, Kelly Parks actually brought up a good point where they do trunk or treating, where they take their kids to like a church and people put their cars like in a circle or in a line, and they kind of decorate their trunk, and then they give out candy. So you're only like in your church parking lot, or you're one of my local grocery stores did this the other day. They're a privately owned, not a chain or anything, and they did a trunk or treat in their parking lot in the middle of the day. I mean, it was like 4 o'clock to 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock or something like that. So it was in the middle of the day. It wasn't even dark, and it was fun because the kids got to dress up, and then everyone kind of decorated their trunk, and then they were in a costume, and they just handed out candy, and it's definitely the safest way to do it,
So let me get this straight. You get your trunk all decorated and lure kids into it, and you just throw them in there and drive off? Is that how it works?
No. No, there's candy. You give out candy, but yeah, that does sound a little creepy. Hey, come check out some candy in my trunk, kid.
No, we do this in church also. It's fun. It's a great thing. I just had to put that out there for the fun of it.
No, that's funny. That's a good point because it does sound creepy when you think about it.
I think all that really matters to kids is that they get it dressed up and they get a crap load of candy.
Yeah, that's a fun holiday for the kids,
Yeah, it's like my poor little boy. He went to the doctor today and he has strep throat. So guess who's not going trick or treating tomorrow?
That sucks.
Oh, that's a bummer.
But he is sleeping in his Darth Vader costume as we speak.
Wow, that's crazy. Smile Money just said in the comments that he was a 9 or 10-year-old. A group attempted to mug us at knife point. We were alone, but a neighbor came out and fired a couple shots in the air, and the little scrapper friend smacked one. That's scary, though. I mean, but all I can think about is someone fired shots in the air. Where do those bullets land?
Yeah.
Is that weird that that's what I can think about mostly out of that story? Where do the bullets land?
Yeah, a lot of people don't think that. I remember, I think it was last year or the year before, Zombies R Us, Ryan, he apparently works at close to an airport or something like that. Well, it was New Year's Eve, and after all the stuff went on, he went out onto the tarmac or the big parking lot, whatever it was, I can't remember, but there was like 45 rounds and 9mm rounds, that people had shot and it came down, and they were mushroomed out pretty bad. But a lot of people don't know that, that trajectory, can't say it, but, that can be lethal.
Oh, it's going to come down somewhere, and it's going to still have some force. That's.
Oh yeah.
I saw that video. That will open your eyes right there.
Yeah.
He should repost that video a day before every big holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're much better off. I'm not a component of warning shots at all. But if you are going to do it into the ground. You know, the dirt and the lawn, the sod is going to, take that bullet, and it's not going to go anywhere. So Terry Miles asked the question, does the bullet still have velocity to penetrate when they land? And I think that depends on a lot of factors, but I don't think anyone would want to stand there and get shot by a bullet that was shot in the air and then coming down at you. I mean,
there have been reports of people getting killed. I remember MythBusters they did that test on it, and basically they sent this balloon up and they dropped a bullet, straight down, and it barely went into the ground. But with it coming straight down, there's not much velocity. But with it being shot, with that trajectory where it's more arched, he said that it can be fatal.
So there's your answer.
You have to think just about like a piece of hail during a hailstorm hitting you. Ice is softer than lead and copper, so if it doesn't kill you, it's still going to hurt.
Oh, yeah, and it can cause damage, It may not kill you, but you're not.
I'm sure there's stuff on the internet you could do a search on, that you could find it. But I do remember, reading actually in that MythBusters episode, they had quoted some news articles about, that actually happened.
Wouldn't doubt it, man. Wouldn't doubt it.
Hey, guys, I'll be right back in just a second.
Sounds good. Okay. Let's see, we got any more? We got Smile Money that joined us, and Budget Bug Out brought up a good point, saying that the amount of children that get hit by cars increases double time during Halloween. So, that's definitely important. So, I mean, like I said, I take my kids out. So, and basically just for those kind of things. I'm not terribly worried that anything bad's going to happen to them, but, at least I'm there to help protect them if something does. And we usually kind of take shifts. Me and my wife, my youngest girls, we live on a pretty hilly area, right up by the mountains, so you're basically trick-or-treating up and down hills. So the kids get tired. My youngest get tired, and my oldest wants to keep going out, so we'll kind of do a shift where, she does the candy, that kind of stuff. So should be fun though. Always a fun we'll kind of transition actually into Walking Dead since that is related to Halloween. But I've always been a big fan of Halloween as far as the holiday is concerned, just for the fun of scaring and going to haunted houses and dressing up, and watching spooky movies and all that kind of fun stuff. So I was actually just at lunch with my sister today, and her brother-in-law has a horse, and every Halloween he dresses up as the Headless Horseman, and he rides up and down the streets of his neighborhood, scaring the crap out of the kids.
That would be cool.
And I was just saying, I'm like, oh, we need to take my kids over there because we just watched The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, like the old Disney one,
Yeah.
And my kids were like, the Headless Horseman, so if they saw one, that'd be awesome.
Might be having to wash some Halloween costumes after that one.
Yeah. I mean, that would be a blast. That would be something I would just love to do as an adult,
Yeah.
I have a Jason mask and I kind of a costume I've worn to a party before that has the machete and the whole 9 yards. And I think it was 2 years ago I took my kids out and I was wearing the mask and I was wearing the costume and I was kind of standing away from my kids, like on purpose, just watching them, but like from a distance, just to kind of be that spooky dude that's in the dark with a machete, Jason mask on. And this dad, his girls, I was just standing, like I wasn't moving, didn't say anything, I just was standing there. When they saw me, their eyes got huge and they went running to their dad and they were like so scared and he was just laughing like. And I never even said a word. I didn't try to scare him or anything. I just stood there. It was funny. So that's always fun. I don't know if I'm gonna dress up this year or not. I'm getting kind of over it. I don't know. What about you? Do you dress up for Halloween, Mill Trooper?
Nah, I dressed up last year for the shop's Halloween party. We had our shop's Halloween party last Saturday, but no, I just went there. I didn't dress up this year.
Yeah, we had like a Halloween party at our church tonight, and I didn't. Before I got on here, I didn't dress up. Neither did my wife. We were kind of lame.
Yeah.
Our kids did. They dressed up, but and that's what it's all about, really. Halloween's a kid's holiday, you know. I mean, adults can have fun with it also, but you know, it's a kid's holiday. It's about them. So.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it.
So, anything else new on your home front?
Um, Not much. I got some few parts I'm waiting on, so I can get these AK kits rolling. Went ahead and bought my headspace engages. Those should be here hopefully by tomorrow or Saturday, if not then beginning of next week. And I'll probably do a video. On where I got those, because the place that I got them from is Manson Precision Reamers. And if anybody's a gunsmith, oh my God, they got so much. They got so much stuff. I mean, it's amazing. But they had real good. They had the cheapest headspace engages that I found. And I remember Rifle Dynamics, Jim Fuller's AK place. They did a video. It wasn't him, but it was one of the guys that works for him. Had did a video, and they had mentioned the Manson Reamers, and that kind of, I had messaged them and I said, hey, is there a difference between this or this manufacturer, that manufacturer? And he said, no, not really. That's just who they went with. You just want the proper, you just want the proper headspace engage for whatever caliber it is.
Yeah, that's got to be tricky to make sure the head spacing's correct, because if it's not, that's gonna cause some problems.
Back in when I used to build these years and years ago, we didn't have most of the tools that are available now, and when we head spaced it, we used the actual live round, or we'd take the bolt apart, we'd remove the firing pin, and then we would put tape on the rear part of the round, and we would head space it that way, and it came out good. I mean, there's people that still do it that way, but the head space engages, it's a little bit more, I would say, accurate.
Well, what did you see on the tape, or how did you determine using the tape?
You would press your barrel into the trunnion, and then you take your bolt and you put your round on it, and you slide it in there, and if it locks up, a little bit tight, then that's usually good. And if it doesn't, then you put another piece of tape on there, and if it doesn't lock up, usually after 3 pieces of tape, if it's not locking up tight, then there's something wrong. You probably need to press your barrel in a little bit farther, and vice versa.
Just an AK history question that you'll probably know. When was the AK developed? When did it come out?
1947 is when it was first issued.
It's not just a clever name.
Yeah.
But don't. Thanks, guys.
And same way with the AK-74. It was introduced in 1974, and it was first used when Russia invaded Afghanistan. That was their main battle rifle, and they used this, the AK. Well, it's AKM now, but the AK-74 was originally, it was produced on a stamped receiver, and then they had issues or whatever with that, so they went to the milled receiver, and I think in the early 50s, late 50s, then they went back to the stamped receiver, and that's when they called the AKM as M more for modern.
Oh, there you go. There's a brief history on the AK-47 by our own Metal Trooper.
Metal Trooper actually needs to do a video on AK history, because
I could do that. I mean, there's a bunch of them out there, but
I like watching your stuff.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I've been thinking about doing some of that, because I know Mikhail Kalashnikov is who invented it. He had originally designed it, and they actually he proposed the design, and they denied it, and that's when the SKS was adopted, and then after the SKS is when the AK-47 came out. It was like a year or two later.
Because, like we were talking about knives earlier, how knives, guns, and gear got into knives from more of the tactical style knives. I got into guns for the American traditional style guns.
Yeah.
The old shotguns, the old revolvers. And then I found my way into the newer tactical kind of stuff. It's like I've only had an AR for right around a year.
Yeah.
And I would love to have an AK, but it's just one of those things that I haven't looked into or studied yet. So I think they're really cool, but I know nothing about them.
Yeah. Well, I originally started out with, my first gun I bought was, shotgun. Well, my dad bought me a shotgun. Then I had bought it was, I can't remember the maker, but it was a police turn-in. It was a riot gun, 12-gauge riot gun, and I bought that probably in the late 70s. And then I got into like the M1 carbines and stuff like that. And then I bought a AR-15 in '87, and I kept that until about '97 is when I sold it. But from about '96, '97, that's when I got hardcore into AKs.
So you got your first AR when I was 1 year old.
Yep.
So there's a good discussion going on in the comments right now that's kind of related to this. One of the guys that's new to the chat, DJ Taylor, welcome. He was asking questions about reloading 10 millimeter, and he's having a hard time finding powder. And it brings up a good point that I hear a lot. I've had a few people comment, like I did an ammo video on my channel a while ago, and it has thousands. I mean, it has a lot of reviews. I get comments on it all the time, and a lot of people said, "Oh, you just stop stocking up on ammo, just reload your own ammo." And I'm all about. I used to reload 9mm, 223, 308, 357. I used to have a reloading press, the line of yards, but I always thought, well, when the ammo crisis or when the ammo shortage was going on, which is really pretty much over now, minus your 22, still kind of hard, but powder and primers and the components you need to make ammo was still as hard to find as the ammo was, and he's having a hard time. There's no handgun powder where he's at,
Yeah, see, I've heard that from several people myself. I was lucky enough to get, well, it wasn't 9mm powder, but it was powder for 308. I'm going to start reloading again myself. But I have a buddy, Mad Metal Maniac 74. He lives in Washington State, and he hasn't been able to find pistol powder for probably for well over a year. And he just recently found some, so he's been, reloading a lot of 9mm. But the powder is something that hasn't, came back quite, just like the manufactured ammo has.
Yeah, I mean, it's, if the many manufacturers are having a hard time producing ammo, it's because they're the ones using up all the powder.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I know there's
powder manufacturers, and when I reloaded, I never had a problem finding anything,
Right.
But it was during a time where ammo wasn't hard to find, at all.
Right.
So, but people have been saying 22 is hard to find. I mean, it's been coming around locally a lot more. I've been able to walk into Walmart and just buy it recently. Like I bought CCI, I bought some Federal, brick of Federal, and they had. I was in there the other day, and they told me they were getting 70 boxes of the Remington 225s or whatever. 70. Like that's a. They usually get about 10. Well, it's starting to come back. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any problem. I get it online typically from Cabela's, and I have a Cabela's local to me, so I'll just do an in-store pickup. And they get it every week. I mean, I get emails saying they got ammo in all the time, so it's out there. It's definitely coming back, which is good. And the pricing still. I mean, I've been paying 5 to 7 cents a round probably for 22, which it used to be less, but that's still really good. But someone was saying in the comments that their range was selling CCI mini mags for a 5,000 round case for like almost $500. I'm like, that's the thing. Like, it's like these shops don't get it. Like, I have a local gun shop. It's in Salt Lake, and I was in there the other day, and they've actually raised their prices to $70 a brick of 500, and I'm just like, please tell me people aren't buying this, because it's not that hard to find at normal prices now. It's not as easy as it used to be, but it's out there, and it's crazy.
I think that's the thing. People are willing to pay the higher prices, so it's like, well, why not charge, this amount when people are buying it? We can make more money. And but now, people didn't have it for so long. They're paying pretty much whatever they can for it, because there could be another shortage.
It's like the gun shop that I'm working in right now. I went from working at a Royal King farm supply store that sold guns, and now I have a part-time job at an actual gun store. And 100 rounds of CCI mini mags is $12.99. And
that's high. I mean, Walmart sells it for like 7 something.
Well,
I bet they're selling it. They're selling it like crazy, aren't they?
Yeah, and they keep it in. They're selling it like crazy, and they keep it in stock. But the thing is, here in my area of Kentucky, it's not available at Walmart. It's not. The gun shop that I work in, and then the really big gun shop that's in Kentucky, Whitaker's Guns, which is probably 40 miles away, are the only two people that have it in stock.
Yeah.
Except for the pawn shops, but they're asking like $20 for 100 rounds.
Yeah. Well, and also like Walmart or these bigger chain stores, they buy it in huge bulk, so they're getting like a bulk discount price, whereas like independent gun shops, they don't, they buy a certain amount. They're not getting that. They're not buying like 100,000 rounds at a time or whatever. So they are paying a little bit more for it. So that might be the justification for them charging a little bit more for it.
Yeah, but not. I mean, where Hancock shop was selling it for 12, that's not that bad. But like these guys at my local gun shop selling a brick of 500 for $70. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's gouging big time. I know they're not paying. They buy a ton of ammo and a ton of guns. They're a pretty good sized gun shop, and they know they're making a killing on that right now.
Yeah, that's awful, because the place I work at is a small mom and pop shop. Like there's 3 employees. Their shop is not a whole lot bigger than my kitchen. So they're not buying big quantities. Their shipping's high, but like the place you're talking about charging $70 a brick, yeah, they're just greasing their axles.
Exactly, and I've lost a ton of respect for that shop, and I don't do business with them anymore. Honestly, I won't, because what are they doing? On guns? Like their gun prices are usually really good, but it's like, oh, here, we'll sell you a 22 rifle for a good price, but if you want ammo for it, we're gonna kill you.
If you were to go out and buy one of your children a 22 cricket rifle for $99. And they're going to charge you $70 for a brick of 22 to go with it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I get it. There's a lot of markup in ammo. There's not a lot of markup in guns, so.
Yeah.
But speaking about 22s, I just bought my kids a 22 410. What do you call it? It's called Match Pair by Rossi. You guys heard of that?
With the interchangeable barrels.
Yeah, it comes with a 22 and a 410 shotgun. You can buy other barrels that interchange. It's a single shot break action, you know. That little
Yeah,
gun I bought at Walmart was $200 for basically two different guns, and it is a blast to shoot.
I recently took
My
a
son, my son.
Savage. Go ahead.
Sorry, we went trap shooting the last weekend. My stepdad's a big trap shooter. He does like a league, you know, locally here, and he's got probably 4 or 5 different trap guns. But my kids didn't have anything, and I had him shoot my 12 gauge once, and it put him in tears. So I was a mean dad. So I'm like, you know what? Let's get. I've been wanting to get, and my youngest daughter, not my youngest, my middle daughter is 7 now, and she's shown a lot of interest in shooting. And we went shooting for the first time 2 weeks ago. And my son's 22. His Smith & Wesson M&P 15-22 is a little too big for her and a little heavy. So I was gonna get her a Cricket, like you said. Actually, I was gonna get the Savage Rascal. I'm pretty sure Texas Jedi has that for one of his kids, but that's what I was gonna get. And then I remembered, man, I can get a shotgun and a 22 rifle for the cost of pretty much that Rascal, you know. So we went out and bought the 410, took it up, and he hit like 5 or so birds out of the air with that 410. That's hard because there's not a lot of spread on that 410, especially on that low barrel. You know, it's just a youth model.
Yeah.
But that's a fun little gun. I mean, I've kind of always wanted one, and they're inexpensive, and I had an excuse because my daughter needed a smaller 22, and now I got a little 410 shotgun too. But I can't believe how expensive the 410 ammo is.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Compared to 12 gauge, it's like I think I paid $12 a box of 25 shells for birdshot, and you buy 100 shells for $20 for 12 gauge.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Ever since the Taurus Judge and the Smith & Wesson Governor came out, the 410 ammo went sky high.
you know, and I was talking to people at Walmart. I'm like, I just don't get why this is more expensive. I mean, I do get it, but I was just saying this to the people at Walmart. Like, it's a much smaller shell. It has a lot less shot in it. You know, a lot less materials to make it. Yet it costs like, you know, a few times more than the 12 gauge. You know, it comes down to obviously the 12 gauge is the most popular round, and they produce a ton more of it, so they can price it better. But I think you're right, Hancock. I think that craze of the Taurus Judge and those handguns shooting the 410 has definitely driven that price of those shells up. You know. So.
Well, and how many people actually use one to hunt with anymore?
A 410, I don't know. It's a handy little. I mean, the 410 slugs are nothing to be messed with, man. That's you don't want to get shot by one of those suckers.
No, that's a mean little rifle.
Yeah, they're fun. I mean, and I kind of looked at it too as a good you know, survival type gun because it packs down into like its own little case. It's probably like yay big, you know, and it packs down. It's really lightweight. I mean, you could put it in a backpack super easy, and you could hunt with it. You know, you got a 410 and a 22. You know, and for defensive purposes, you know, a 410 slug is nasty. So, or even the 22 is, you know, not something you want to be shot with. So, it seemed like a cool little survival rifle too. You know, if you ever needed it, because it would put, you know, food on the table and, you know, would be lightweight. You wouldn't be carrying around a ton of ammo for it and all that kind of stuff. So.
But no, you were talking about that as a survival gun. Like I was saying earlier when I accidentally cut you off, is I recently purchased the Savage, I forget the model number, but it's an over and under. It's 22 caliber on top and 410 on the bottom.
Yeah, those are sweet, man. I was looking at those. Those are really cool.
Yeah, the little black one with all the red designs on it. I can't remember the model for that thing for nothing right now.
Is it a 42? Is it a model 42? Is that ringing a bell?
I
don't know.
I've drawn a blank.
It's a cool little gun. You bought one?
Yeah, picked one up, and it's actually going to be a Christmas present for somebody that's turning of driving age in my family. But anyway.
Yeah, those are cool. I was looking at those. They're a lot more pricier though. That's not kind of why I went this route, but those are definitely a cool rifle.
I picked it up for $2.99.
That's not bad.
Most of the time I saw them they're closer to $400.
Yeah, I've got a local FFL that was selling them for almost $400. So that's funny. Funny conversation going on. Oh, we got a few new people in the comments real quick. We got Metham88. I think that's actually the only person that's joined recently that was new. They're having a little discussion about the 410 and the 380 and all that kind of stuff, you know.
Well, you're going to fill me and Mel Trooper in because we don't see the comments.
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys, well, Mel Trooper, you could open up and, well, I guess it's because I have 2 monitors. That's why I do it.
Yeah, that 380 ammo is pretty pricey too.
Yeah, and that's actually what HNRE was talking about, was that there's not one logical reason why a 410 shell would cost more than a 12 gauge or a 380 more than a 9. But someone did say, supply and demand. 9mm 9 is the most common pistol round in the world, not just the U.S. I mean, the world, like NATO round. So it's and I've actually heard that the 380, even though it's made on the same, it's basically a 9mm short, is just not as commonly made. But you think it would be, because there is a pretty high demand for 380 with those little pocket pistols, like the Ruger LCP and all that. I mean, I'd say it's in higher demand than a 410 is, But what interestingly enough, on that 410 discussion with the Taurus judge and the governor, those companies came out with those self-defense rounds in 410 that have like the little, they have like buckshot and a slug, little disc together. It's a PDX, I think, by Winchester. Federal makes a buckshot, and I actually used to have a judge, so I bought a couple of those to test them out and stuff. I like the Federal the best, but I've noticed that my Walmart has been rolling those back, and they've cut the price of those things a couple dollars a box. I mean, they're pretty much as cheap as buying the birdshot is now.
I'll tell you what, back when I worked at Roll King, you could get a traditional box of 3-inch birdshot for $9.99, but the PDX and all the other rounds, they were on over $30 a box.
Yeah, I saw one when I was at Walmart today. They had the PDX for $13 a box for 25 rounds.
Really?
Which is still high in my opinion, but it's for that particular round. It's not, high. That's pretty low. So.
Yeah, at that price, I'd have bought it, even though I don't have one of those pistols.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna buy some for the shotgun and try it out. I mean, they're designed for a pistol, but you're just gonna get increased velocity out of a shotgun barrel. So. Yeah, one better, I would think. But, so let's talk Walking Dead, if you don't mind.
Oh, that's fine.
I know Hancock is coming back. Well, I guess the discussion might be for the people in the comments that watch it too, but we're going to talk a little Walking Dead, Hancock.
Yeah, I heard you. I was just recharging my little puffer here.
Your little e-cig there?
Yep, my pacifier.
So, I guess who in the comments? I mean, I'll kind of have people chime in. Who watches Walking Dead? And hopefully everyone's seen the last episode, so I don't give any spoilers out. But hopefully, yeah, by now, being the next one comes out on Sunday.
Well, I'll tell you the reason I started watching The Walking Dead. Besides my wife liked it, I thought it would be a good thing to sit down with her and watch a television show, just, me and her time. I was doing it for gun porn. And she would get so mad because I'd be like, oh, that's this gun, that's that gun.
Yeah, there's a lot of knives too. Like I've seen some Spydercos, some Cold Steels. Daryl carries around how do you say? Is it it's a BUSSE. It was a Bussy. I'm not sure how you say that knife company, and they make like a really nice like really high end fixed blades. Like they're pretty pricey, but they're beastly. So he carried one of those around for a long time. So yeah, there's a lot of knife and gun porn on the show for sure. I actually, I mean, I love zombies, so that's why I watch it. I'll be the first to admit it. I'm a zombie kind of guy. But I've read a lot of the comics actually. Probably like 100 issues of them. There's well over 100 issues now. And I kind of, when the first season came out, I was really excited about the show, so I kind of sat down and started reading the comics and, kind of get an idea and how the show follows along with the comics versus how, it kind of breaks off on its own. And there's a lot of characters on that show that are not even in the comics at all. Like Daryl. Daryl's like one of the most badass, guys on the show. Everyone loves Daryl. He's not even in the comics. So it's kind of funny, Rick is, and Carl, his son.
Is
Michonne
LaShawn?
is. Yeah, Michonne is. Yeah, she's awesome. She's so cool in the comics. I mean, she's cool in the show too. They did a really good job with her.
Yeah, that's my wife's Halloween costume for tomorrow.
That's gonna be dope. Carol, I think Carol is. Herschel was, and Glenn is. But some of Herschel's kids weren't. And if they were, they died off really early. I mean, it's interesting to see how they've, and you watch the show, Abraham.
Yeah.
The guy with the mullet and the guy with the mullet, Eugene. All those characters are in the comics, so it's cool how they've kind of incorporated them into the show. But that last episode with the tainted meat, did you see that?
Yeah, the whole cannibalism thing where they're eating Bob's leg and all that mess.
Yeah. That's actually in the comics, and it's not Bob, because Bob doesn't exist in the comics, but it's another guy that was part of their group, and that exact same thing happened where they ate him, and he was tainted. He had been bitten by a zombie, and they didn't know.
But
And
you have to admit, that was hilarious as hell.
oh, I started busting up laughing. He just starts busting up laughing, and he's sitting there, and his legs cut off, and they're just talking to him, and he just starts laughing hysterically. They're like, "What are you laughing at?"
They lost mine.
Shows him the bite on his shoulder, and they're like, people start puking. They're like, "Oh!" "Oh my gosh!" Freaking out, mass hysteria. But that scene in the church, dude, how brutal was that? This.
Am I thinking twisted because I loved it?
Yeah. Well, I loved it too because it was retribution because they killed Gareth, who is the leader of the cannibals, and in the book, I'll tell you what happens in the comic book because he gets killed in the comics. That group of cannibals is all part of the comics, but the Terminus place is not, but the cannibals are, and Rick, does the same thing. I'm going to kill you. I promise I'm going to kill you, whatever. But what they do is when they kind of they kind of jump him at their own camp. And they actually tie Gareth down to the picnic table and literally chop him up into small pieces. So the comics are way more bloody and gory than the show is, for the most part. If they tried to do all the stuff they did in the comics on the show, it would not be on TV. It'd be it'd be on HBO. It wouldn't be on AMC, it'd be on HBO or Showtime where they can get away with that kind of stuff, whereas AMC's not a premium network, so they can't really show that kind of stuff. So, but it was it was awesome. So I thought that was cool how they did it and how he got killed. I mean, that sounds weird to say that, but but I was actually really surprised they did it so early in the season because we're only a few episodes in, and they already killed off this main villain, and I'm like, what? Now what? Now what are they going to do? So I sit here and think, and I try to remember back to the comics,
the dude that's going to D.C., the redheaded guy that's going to Washington, D.C., and taking the guy that's supposed to fix the things, that's going to be a new Hook, in my opinion.
And that's also in the comics. They do that. They go to D.C. I won't tell you what happens because that'll be a spoiler, but it's yes, you do need to check it out. HNRA 42. It's on Netflix. The first I think 4 seasons are on Netflix, and I just warn you, you'll get hooked for sure, because it's an incredible show. even if you're not a zombie fan, my wife hates zombies, by the way, hates them, and she is absolutely addicted to that show. And it's not even really about, in my opinion, about zombies, the zombies, I should say. It's more about the human struggle, survival, and how it would be in this kind of apocalyptic world. And and the zombies are obviously there and they're a threat, but they find that like especially like with this cannibal group, that's something realistic. I mean, have you guys seen The Road before? The movie The Road?
Yes.
So that's kind of the same thing. There was cannibals in that, and these guys, there was no, zombies. It was just like I can't remember what it was. Was it nuclear or a solar flare or something like that happened? I can't remember exactly.
Whatever the apocalypse happens, zombies or whatever it is, it's the human struggle when they don't have anything but themselves.
Oh,
Yeah.
if something like that actually happened, there would be people out there. There would be. I mean, this would be all real. Maybe not the zombies, but like the cannibals and people killing other people to survive. That's all fact. I mean, if something like that happened.
No, yeah, and that's what's cool about the show is it's if you look at it purely for zombies, you actually may be disappointed because there's a lot of episodes where there's not a lot of zombie killing. It's kind of a side thing almost to everything else that's going on with these people. Like Rick has a baby, that he's trying to take care of during this whole time. Without his wife, and it's just that aspect, and then the group of people that they're with is that they've become family pretty much. They're that's all they have is each other, and they were complete strangers when they met.
Yeah.
No one knew, and yeah, like you said, there's all kinds of human threats. I mean, there was the governor last year. Last season, you remember the governor, I'm sure. Hancock. I mean, that guy was he was a gnarly, just villain, and just very evil, and he's part of the comics too, by the way. So, that there's more of that aspect to it, and I love the show. I think it's really well done. It's really well. The acting's really good. The special effects are awesome. I mean, it's really the best zombie type movie. I mean, it's a TV show, but it's really the best zombie thing that's ever been out, in my opinion. I mean, it's more realistic. There's not like the 28 Days Later zombies where they're running at you, or the World War Z zombies. And I talk about the movie when I say World War Z because the book was very more like Walking Dead. The zombies didn't run. They weren't like climbing on top of each other and getting over the wall in Jerusalem like the movie. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie or not, but
no, I read the book.
I've seen 28 Days.
Yeah, if you've read the book, Hancock, the movie is way different. I mean, I still like the movie, but the book is way, the zombies are more like Walking Dead zombies where they were slow and, there was just mass number of them. They weren't running and doing all this crazy stuff, which, actually makes it scarier, I think. They're running at you.
Yeah.
But in a fantasy world where you're thinking of zombies, come on, it's decaying flesh. So they're not going to run. Just like in The Walking Dead in the movie, once they're so old and they're not feeding, they're falling apart. So if you're going to tell me a fake, fictitious story, make it halfway believable in some kind of realm.
Yeah, and nope. Walking Dead is not on regular TV. It's on cable, AMC. I mean, if you have basic cable though, you can get AMC. But like I was telling Metal Trooper, that you can watch it online. The first so many episodes are on Netflix, and then you can even get the new series on there if you search around a little bit. So.
Well, you can go to AMC's website and watch them a day behind.
Yeah, you actually have to have a cable subscription to do that, though.
I don't have cable, but I do it.
For the first maybe episode or something, but I've tried to do that, and you have to sign in with like your Comcast login or your DirecTV. That's what I tried on when I was out of town. I tried to do that in Arizona and try to catch up on the The Walking Dead, because I missed the episode. But yeah, Netflix has the old episodes, and yeah, it's definitely a. So I don't want to get too much detail because people haven't watched it, and then maybe we'll do a separate chat on The Walking Dead for those that have watched. Actually, there is a channel that does that. If you guys follow Never Enough Ammo, he does it with like Stone Guy and a couple other people. They do like a Walking Dead chat like after the episode. But
yeah, Stone Guy, Yankee Marshall,
yep.
Never Enough Ammo.
Yeah, they do a Walking Dead chat. They invited me to it one time. I couldn't make it, so I might try to get on the next one. But
if we ever do one of those, my wife will be the expert.
Yeah, bring her on, man. I'd love it. I love talking about it. We've got my brother and sister-in-law addicted to it.
All the ammo that these guys shoot, I can see all the AR and AK ammo. Where is Rick getting all these 357 Magnums for that 686?
That's a Colt Python, my friend.
In which episode? It switches.
Oh, it's supposed to be a Colt Python throughout the whole. That's a good point. They don't always use the correct gun, but it's supposed to be a Python. That's how it started the season, and in the books, it's a Python that he always has with him. But
yeah. When he buried it in the ground at Terminus, it was a 686.
Yeah, and he called it a 44 mag too. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That drove me crazy. I'm like, what?
See, that runs it for me when I see stuff like that, and it's something fake or not, it's just like, well, you know what, turn that off. But
at one point when his son was shooting it, it was a Taurus 605 8-shot.
Yeah, that's Hollywood for you. I can't. You think that there would be some technical advisor, and that for a show like that where they use so many guns,
yeah, do your research.
That they would know that you can't do that, because a lot of people that watch that show, it's going to drive them crazy. Like when Rick was shooting that AK full auto, the first episode of the season, he never reloaded. Like he probably fired like 3 magazines, and he's just never reloading. I'm like, come on, how hard is it to put a reload in there? I mean, really, I get calling the guns the wrong thing, whatever, but that is just drives me insane because
it just adds to the suspense. You got to reload, and you got a zombie coming at you. You're trying to reload. That's
and there was the episode before last. They were still at the prison when they were fighting at the fence. LaShawn was using a shotgun. In the first shotgun, it was a Remington 870. And then the next scene, like the very next scene, like 15 seconds later, she had a Ethica Model 37. Both very cool guns. I own both of them, but I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah, it's silly. I mean, there's a Glock one scene, the next scene it's a Beretta 92. It's a completely different type of gun. It's like, come on, like.
Well,
really?
They're hoping, the normal people don't know that or don't notice that. But they, like you said, a lot of people that watch that know their shit. And it's like it kind of takes it away from it.
But I will say that they do a really good job. They do a lot better than most shows do with that kind of stuff. And they do a lot better than most Hollywood action films and all that kind of stuff do, That, I will say, they do a pretty good job. They, only people like us are going to pick up on those minute details of, hey, wait, that was an 870, now it's, a different gun, or he called the Colt Python a 44 Magnum when it was a 357 Magnum, Those are pretty, like, my wife, it drives my wife crazy when I watch it sometimes with her. She's like, oh, shut up, that doesn't matter.
You start critiquing it.
I'm like, what? That's not a 44 Mag, that's a 357. She's like, oh, who cares? I'm like,
it's a gun.
It's a gun. Yeah.
Well, what I found hilarious, Yankee Marshall did a video talking about The Walking Dead, and he said he uses it for dry fire practice. Every time he sees a walker, click.
Do you think he really does that?
I don't know if he does or not.
Yeah, the question is, how many Americans out there watch that show with their guns out, like in Fantasyland? They're like, yeah, I'm gonna get my AK out, or I'm gonna get my AR out. You know?
Or
I
how
mean,
many gamers have their Nintendo gun out?
there you go. That's a lot safer. I mean, even if you're dry firing, what man puts a round through his TV one time because he doesn't clear it, you know?
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, and one thing that drove me crazy too, and my wife was giving me crap about, is when they were shooting those AKs, they were firing from the hip the whole time. I think Rick actually might have used the sights, but the guys in Terminus that were using the AKs, and Mel Tribute wouldn't see this, but they came out like total like movie style, like stormtrooper shooting from the hip, not aiming, you know. It just like drove me insane. I'm like, you know how many shots you're gonna miss doing that? I mean,
Yeah.
come on. It's just funny, but it's fun. I mean, it's the best thing on TV in my opinion. I mean, I can't think of anything that I like better than Walking Dead. So if you get a chance to check it out, dude, you definitely need to.
Yeah, I might do that because I mean, everybody, most of the people that I know, they watch it. And, you know, I just don't watch it because I don't have a TV and I don't have cable. I just got internet. But I mean, like you said, I mean, it's out there. I can find it.
Yeah, I mean, you can get Netflix on the internet. You can watch that on your laptop. I think you can stream for like $8 a month.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cheap, you know. And there's a ton of shows out there. A ton. I mean, there's a lot of good shows. Sons of Anarchy's on there. Breaking Bad, if you ever got into that show was awesome. That was also an AMC show. But
I'm
and
trying
then I'll play Smile Money. You're actually on to something there, not to give much away from the comics, but yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. You can't take it too seriously. It's still Hollywood producing these shows, and there's never going to be a movie or a TV show that gets everything right that we're gonna, you know. Unless they hire one of us to be a technical survivor. That's what T.R. Prepper said. He's like, I need to be a technical advisor for the
Yeah,
armory.
right. Yeah.
You know, and make sure they have the right guns for every scene, and you can't use a different gun in this scene than that scene, and with the same character, like that doesn't make any sense, you know.
Do you know how many TV
Put some
production
freaking
companies
reloads in
there
there.
are out there? We could all probably get jobs as technical advisors doing that.
Nah, that'd be a pretty cool job too.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yep. That would be nice.
So let's all start doing videos, griping about TVs and movies, about how they mix up guns and weaponry. Then we can all have sweet, easy chair jobs and retire.
Get to work in Hollywood, huh? That'd be cool. I went to high school with a kid that he's actually a pretty good sized movie star. His name's Matthew Davis. He was in Pearl Harbor. He was in Legally Blonde movies. He played Reese Witherspoon's boyfriend. He's been in quite a few movies. I mean, not all of them are huge, but he's on Vampire Diaries now, which is like a show my wife loves, which is totally not my thing at all because it's totally like
Twilight.
yeah, well, kind of. It's not as bad as Twilight, but it's pretty.
Yeah.
It's on the CW, so if that tells you anything right there, that's like probably much the cheesiest network out there. But he's on that show, and every time she's watching and I see him, I'm just like, man, I can't believe I went to high school with that kid, and he's like some big movie star now. He was a cool guy too. He was totally down to earth, and he was not like a thespian. He was very athletic. He was on the football team, you know. He was a jock, and the next thing I know, one year, I think it was '99. I went to a horror movie with one of my buddies, and we both knew him really well. We were friends with him, and we're watching the movie, and he comes on the screen, and we're both looking at each other like, "What is that? Is that Matt?" And it was Urban Legends. Do you remember that movie, Urban Legends?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in that movie. He's in a couple of those movies, and it was just such a trip. So we had to all right, no, that can't be him, you know. We stayed after the credits, and there's his name on the credits. We're like, what? Like, big movie star now. It's crazy. It's kind of fun.
A lot of times people, they're at the right place at the right time. You know, they have a certain look or, you know, and somebody asked him, "Hey, do you want to play this part in the movie?" And then it takes off.
Yeah, he's from here. Or, I mean, of course he's from here. He's actually a really like attractive guy. Like he's gotten some roles where that pretty face of his has definitely got him the role. But he's a pretty good actor. So it's weird though. He was never into that kind of stuff in school, but until our like senior year, he was gone. He like completely left the school, and he actually went to like some professional acting school. And next thing you know, he's freaking a movie star. Like just crazy.
Yeah, that would be called low-rent gay porn in California. That's where he went.
No, no, he's not. He's not. Well, I don't know that I don't know his sexual orientation. He wasn't in high school, that's for sure. But, yeah, it's funny. So if you ever see his name, Matthew Davis, and you see those movies, that's actually a buddy of mine I grew up with. So, kind of fun.
Yeah, I had a little adventure with a reality show that the shop that I work at, we place got actually it was a place that was affiliated with True TV, and we did a lot of filming and everything, but thank God it never aired. I am so glad it never aired.
You were on a reality show? What?
Yeah.
Metal Trooper, the TV star.
Well, it never aired. It was called Venom Force, and it was basically like reptile rescues and stuff. But it was me and the guy, my buddy that owns the shop, and this other girl that used to work there, and we used to go to these different places. We'd get a call, and one of the episodes was we went over to Missouri, and there was a loose rattlesnake in a ball pit, and I was the one that went in there and got that. And then there was another one where there was a small crocodile that was in somebody's backyard, goldfish pond, and because I got buddies that live over in Missouri that have all kinds of that kind of stuff, like Nile crocodiles and timber rattlers and eastern diamondback rattlers and all that stuff. So we used them animals. But and then another one, we had to crawl underneath the house and get a lizard and stuff like that. But I am glad it did not air.
Well, I wish it would have. That would have been awesome. You'd be like some YouTube celebrity from your TV.
If you do a search, it used to be on True TV's website, but I don't know if it's on there or not. But it was called Venom Force. But yeah, it was kind of cheesy because what they wanted us to do, I mean, we don't never do that kind of stuff. And but I mean, we would tell them, they would say, okay, well, this is what's going to happen. It's not. Me and my buddy are like, this doesn't happen. They're like, I don't care. This is what you're going to do, and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. We're like, okay.
Well, you could have made tens of dollars doing that.
Yeah, well, we made a little bit, but I mean, it wasn't nothing significant. Now, if the show would have aired and stuff, we were already signed into like I think like a 2 or 3 year contract when we started, and but True TV didn't. I guess they didn't accept it or whatever. Which, like I said, I'm glad because I mean the whole reality show. If anybody's out there that watches reality shows, I don't want to hate to burst your bubble, but that crap doesn't happen.
No, they're all scripted. It's all scripted. Yeah.
Very much so.
It's just like I went down to Nashville, Tennessee, because it's close to my house, and went to the American Pickers Nashville store, and that was a damn T-shirt stand. That's all it was.
Oh, excuse me. I'm yawning. I'm getting tired.
Well, you said we're going to do an hour chat, and we're 24 minutes past an hour.
Yeah, we can wrap it up. I mean, we've got a pretty good amount of viewers in here. So I hate to do it, but it's almost, 10:30 your time?
Yeah, it's 10:30. It's 10:24 our Central.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we can wrap it up, man. What?
Let's do a giveaway.
A giveaway? You giving something away?
Sure.
All right.
It's something small, and I'm not going to say what it is.
Oh.
It will fit into an envelope. It is made of metal. Y'all figure out how you want to draw it or do it.
Well, we usually do the numbers, pick a number between 1 and whatever, and then we can all pick a number, put it in the comments, or um, you'll have to be the one that knows the number, because if you do it the other way, then the panel members can't participate unless you don't want us to, which is fine.
Well, how many people we got viewing right now?
We have 13.
So we'll add you and Metal Trooper, so that's 15. So pick a number between 1 and 15.
I just put my number in the internal.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I was about to do mine. I don't want to make sure I do the same one. Where's that chat thing at? I don't have it up. There it is. Nice.
Did you already pick a number, Hancock?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, well, I type my number in the actual comments. I'll type it in our chat, too, that you guys can see. So people are starting to guess numbers, dude. We got 2 people that guess the same number, which is funny. So, oh, you can't see it, what they're guessing, though.
So you text me your number right now, and then I will text you what the number is.
Okay. On cue. Da-da-da-da.
Let's see. This does not have your phone number on it, so I can show it. Can y'all read that?
Yep.
Okay. Tell me when to say the number, because you're wrong.
I'm not the number, huh?
Nope.
Go ahead and tell me the number. Well, no, text it to me. Don't. Just in case someone didn't get it right. Did you? Oh, you don't. Did you see Metal Troopers?
No, I don't see any.
Okay, I'll text you Metal Troopers.
Okay.
Well, you're going to see it, so here's the number.
Might want to wait.
Well, I'm sending it to him. He's already out.
Okay.
Oh, that's the number you picked? Hancock, that's the number you picked?
The text I just sent you?
Yeah.
Yep, that's the number.
Well, then that means Metal Troopers are a winner.
You're kidding.
I want to. Yeah, I want
TR Prepper also. TR Prepper also guessed that number, but it was after Metal Trooper.
TR can have it.
All right.
No,
I don't. Since I'm one of the panel members, I don't really think I should.
No, if TR and Metal Trooper gets one.
Oh, nice.
They are P38 military can openers.
Nice. I actually was going to guess that's what you're going to do. That's funny. All right, so TR and Metal Trooper won a P38 can opener. That's a good, those are awesome. I have a bunch of those.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to give away, actually. I didn't think about that. I'm all out of knives to give away. I've given away a few, and I'm going to be doing a contest again on my
TR
channel.
Metal Trooper, please PM me your info, and I'll send you one out in the envelope.
Okay. Actually, I'll just text you.
That'll work too.
Speaking of giveaways, I'm going to be doing another one soon on the channel. I passed 4,000 subs, didn't even think about it for some reason. Next thing I know, I'm like, what? 4,000? When did that happen? So I haven't been on YouTube as much. I mean, I've been making videos, and what I do is I schedule them. I'll do 4 at a time or 5 at a time, and I'll make the videos when I have some free time, and then I schedule them out every couple of days. So I've had a few new videos come out, but I haven't uploaded them for a while. I haven't shot anything for a while because I've been busy, but we'll get to a 4,000 sub contest here shortly, hopefully. I did want to show you guys a cool knife that I get, and I might give this away not tonight, but in the contest. Have you guys seen this new Kershaw boot knife they came out with?
No, I have not.
It's double-edged,
Like that.
so it's sharp on both sides. This is called the 00. What do they call this? The Secret Agent. That's what they call it. The model number is 4007, like 007. But it's they used to make a boot knife years ago that was really popular, and so they brought it back this year. I've been waiting for this one to come out. It's a pretty slick little knife. It's full tang construction. It's the 8CR13 steel. The tip is crazy sharp. Like, I mean, I'm surprised I'm not drawing blood right now. It's got a sharp tip. But again, it's both. It's got an edge on both sides, so it's double edged, and the grip is really really comfortable and really light. It's a really lightweight knife. It'd be a good, self-defense type knife. Comes in a nice Kydex sheath, and it's got a belt clip option that I took off because I just been carrying it in like a pocket. But you can use it for. There's a belt clip option, but I think it was $25 or something for this knife. Super cheap. So it'd make a good, it's not really like an EDC type knife because it's got a double edge, but good self-defense, boot knife. So, yeah, thanks everyone for congrats on the 4,000 subs. I appreciate that. I haven't really done a video saying anything about it, so it kind of snuck up on me, and I was like, whoa. But anyway, I think we will wrap up the chat for tonight. You guys have anything else you wanted to say or anything else you want to do?
Yeah, we'll just say y'all have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Hope more and more people come by because there will be another giveaway next week.
Yep. Thanks everybody for stopping by. Enjoy the company.
Hold on 2 secs. Terry, before we go, let's kind of hit up the comments one more time, and then we'll. One of our viewers wanted to do a knife giveaway, which is really generous of him. So we'll actually do that next week on the giveaway. That'll give somebody, everyone has something to look forward to on the chat next week. We'll do a knife giveaway. Terry Miles is going to do a knife giveaway.
Very cool, Terry.
We can coordinate that, Terry, like maybe during the week or something. You can send me a message, and we'll kind of work out the details. DJ Taylor, TR Prepper. We got Stump Greenwood, South Carolina came in late. Urban and Country Homestead, Ben Long, 1018, HNRE 42, Dirk Plinkster, Metham 88, Kelly Parks, and I think I got everyone. If I missed your name, I apologize, but thanks all for watching tonight, and we will catch you next Thursday, same bat time, same bat channel. Everybody have a nice Halloween, and make sure you stay safe. Peace out.